Good morning, Scorpio. I hope you guys are doing well and fantastic. Welcome back to Path of Enlightenment Tarot for those of you returning, and for those of you who are new to the channel, welcome to the channel. I'm Nicole. It's lovely to have each and every one of you. I want to say thank you to everybody for the subscribes, the likes, the shares, and the comments. It is so greatly appreciated. If you've not subscribed yet to the channel, please do so. You hit that notification bell and it's going to give you notifications every time a video gets posted. That way you're staying in the loop, and it helps circulate the videos as well for everybody else, so it is greatly appreciated. Scorpio, this is going to be for your sun, your moon, your rising, and your Venus cross watchers. If that is you, welcome to the channel as well. Guys, always discern the messages accordingly and know that not every message will be for you. If you are interested in a one-on-one reading, because this is for the collective, you can find that information in the description box below and the about section of the page too. So, Scorpio, I was doing some meditating before I turned the camera on, and two messages came through, and I'm really curious to see how this pops up. Spirit said to me, heroes are not made, they are born. Okay? And be ready to receive. Your abundance is coming in. So we're going to see how this plays out in the cards for you guys. Very unique messages compared to some of the ones I usually get, or the way they come in for me whenever I do meditate prior to starting the reading. So I'm Scorpio sun myself, so I'm always excited to see what comes up because I don't read for myself. So, all right, Scorpio, I hope you guys are doing great. This is going to be for April of 2023. We'll see what's going on. Make sure you check your other placements, sun, moon, rising, and Venus. So, all right, Spirit, for Scorpio this morning, what do we got going on for the month of April, please? For Scorpio. Core and rediscovery. I'm going to tell you, that core card has come out so much in so many of the readings I've gotten through, the earth signs, the water, or the earth signs, the water signs, and the air signs, and now Scorps, you're the first of the water signs. But that card, I've said it since December that 2023 is always, it's really going to be about us going back to ourselves and getting centered in who we are. And that core is telling me that in it, with that rediscovery, that you are going back to self. You're working on the self, going back to what ignites you and lights you up, what makes you feel good about where you're heading, where you're going, and what it is that you're trying to accomplish. So you may be in a period of stillness in April, moving through Aries season. It's kind of like a time to be still, not to make any rash decisions, not to just jump on the bandwagon per se. But being aware, it's like reassessing. And we have Mercury retrograde coming up. I think it's like the 23rd of April, if I'm remembering that correctly. So it's like you're taking a moment to go back to the self, maybe just rediscovering parts of yourself that you've been a little out of touch with recently. So let's see. Fragments. Spirit instantly is coming in, and again, these messages, I've said it in some of the other videos, the messages that have come through for this month, or for April, have been so profound. This fragment is Spirit saying, you're leaving the past behind you. You're seeing off into the future. You're no longer looking back on all of the things that have drug you down before. Again, there's that center, becoming aware of the growth that sits in front of you rather than looking back to the past. You may have some reminiscing, may have some moments that take you back and you think about certain things, but I feel like your focus is moving forward rather than what you're leaving behind you at this time. In that card of fragments, revolution, Scorpio, I'm telling you guys, like for some of the signs to see this revolutionary growth, and of course we've got Pluto that moved into Aquarius. We're starting to see how this is going to play out for us over the next 20 years. I've beat that one to death. I've beat a few of the other movements that we had last week to death, and I apologize if you hear the cat in the background. He's feeling some kind of way this morning apparently, so he's saying good morning to all of you. But it's like this with Pluto moving into Aquarius, we're opening up to revolution, to change, a planet of Scorpio, death, rebirth, transmutation of where we're heading. And for this, to see this fragments, you're changing the way that you've seen things. You're looking at things from a very different space, a very different perspective, understanding that change is going to have to occur in Scorpio. If anybody does change, well, it's you, right? So you're opening up to this and ready to make those movements, play with whatever energy comes in for you. because it's like Spirit is saying it wants to dance and sing with you. It wants to be creative with you. And you may be finding during this period of time as well, throughout now till June 11th, whenever Pluto goes back into Capricorn, that, you know, you're finding that you want to re-evolve. I'm going to call it re-evolve. I don't know if that's the right word, if that's even a word, but you're stepping into this, and it's like you're comfortable in changing. It's almost like morphing into what it is that you need to be in the right time in the given moment that needs to come through. So I like that for you guys very, very much. All right, for Scorpio for April, please. Surface. Anything that belonged to the surface level, no more. Not willing to invest in that anymore. You're diving into the waters, stepping into your emotional energy, and then you've got productivity at the bottom. Again, that creative flow, stepping into that creation process of whatever life is going to look like for you, or what you envision your life to look like moving forward. Surface, you may have people by your side, and I will also say I feel like you may be reassessing the people around you at this time as well. Are your connections running deeper than meets the eye? Is it more than just our 3D world? Does it run to the soul's level for you? And I think you're having an understanding of that. That productivity, she's got this woman with a child. They're cloaked in abundance, right? And it's like whatever friction, I got the friction card back there. So whatever arguments, situations and things that were behind, that are, you're moving past, leaving them behind you, it's sending you into a very much more grounded space. And I feel that you're very grounded in your emotions as well. Spirit is saying that time is healing whatever has gone on in the past. And, whether you want to call it grief or whatever it might be, it does take time. And everything does take time to happen and transform for you. But I do feel like what lies ahead of you is so much better than you've ever experienced before. So very, very beautiful messages there for you guys. All right. And I will say, Scorpio, thus far, you guys are the only ones to have that Revolution card in their reading. And I'm not surprised by that whatsoever. All right, Spirit, for Scorpio. Oh, gosh, everything's coming out. I'm going to take all of these. Two of Cups, Tower, can be not letting something fall that needs to fall. Maybe trying too hard to put things together. And if it's causing you sleepless nights, if you're finding there's a little bit of tension surrounding a particular situation, I think you're recognizing where it's time to go. Again, if it doesn't feel good, anything that comes together doesn't have to be love. If it doesn't come together the way that you need it to for you, it's not resonating with your soul, it's something that you're willing to walk away from in due time. But I do feel like there's this stagnancy in making those choices, wondering if you're doing the right thing. So, don't prop up foundations that aren't secure for you. It's, if it's something that is not fulfilling, you're recognizing there is a need to move away from this. It's like setting aside your differences, trying to put aside your differences. And it's almost like Spirit saying, because you're afraid of hurting maybe someone else's feelings or something to that effect. Very much in an energy of, how can I serve another person or serve a situation without causing strife attached to that? But I think at the end of the day, Scorpio, the only one's causing strife for is you. So be careful how much you're willing to invest at this time. Take your time and walk through it gingerly. But I do feel with that Six of Wands, or the Six of Swords on the bottom, if you're finding that it doesn't feel right or it's not creatively flowing for you, you're going to walk away from it. You're going to move on to calmer waters. So the present situation for Scorpio for April, please, Spirit. Eight of Pentacles, doing the work, putting the work in, learning, revising, revisiting, and those re's keep coming up for me, guys, in all of the, well, I say most of the readings, not all of them, but you're willing to put in the work and the effort. You're willing to grow, take everything that you know, and be creative with that process to see where it's taking you. It's investing into yourself. It's investing into the things around you that you want to see grow and make work in the future. So I do feel like you've got, it's kind of giving me the magician vibes for some reason today, where you've got all of these different things surrounding you, and it's got all these different processes to it, where it's like, I've got a little bit of this and a little bit of that. It's kind of like jack of all trades, master of none. So you may have your hands in quite a few things that are keeping you busy, and you're kind of assessing what it is that you need to put your time, energy, and attention into and put your focus on. And being that Eight of Pentacles, I do love that card. There's a lot of creative flow in that. There's a lot of inspiration in that card. There's a lot of willing to put in the work and the effort that you need to see your dreams come to fruition with that. And at the bottom, Magician in the reverse, blocking out anything that's negative. And be careful too that you're not closing. It's almost like as you're going through phases, you're closing out things that are blockages or things that have not come to fruition, and recognizing where your potential is lying rather than where it is not. And again, it's like changing the mindset too, from the negatives to the positives. So it's also a space to be grateful and find gratitude in right now as well. And then moving forward, what do we have for Scorpio? King of Swords. King of Swords there with the Six of Wands. You're very clear about the direction in which you're heading. You have this knowledge that you've gained and acquired over some time. And this here, Spirit is repeating to me what I said to you in the very beginning of the video that I heard about being a hero. So whatever this means to you, whatever it is that you're specifically going through, you may just have people that are really looking up to you. That Six of Wands is recognition, success, right? Kind of like riding off into the sunset, seeing your hard work, come to get its accolades, we'll say, right? So with that, it's like exactly who you are, what it is that you want. You're very clear and decisive about that, and you're taking the decisive action to make things come together. You've gained a lot of knowledge and wisdom, and I'm going to say, and Spirit is saying in the past 3 months, so from the beginning of this year up to this point, it's almost like you've shifted into something else. And I talked about those timeline jumps in the other videos as well, and even last week, and when I worked on some of the mid-March stuff, that it's almost like you transformed overnight. Something significantly internally changed within you, where all of a sudden, all of these years of wisdom, all of these years of life experience that did give you that wisdom, you're very aware that you can move mountains if you need to, and you're willing to put in the work to do that. And at the end of the day, the cat is going crazy this morning. So sorry if you hear ruckus in the background. But through that, you're seeing your efforts pay off. You're seeing, it's almost like you have this clarity, and that clarity alone feels good to you. Being aware of where it is that you're going and what's important to you at this time. All right. He's really losing his marbles this morning. He's living his best life. All right, guys, let's do some clarifying. I feel like you guys have had a lot of this stuff in the past here that popped up, this Two of Cups, the Tower in reverse, the Nine of Swords. I think we're going to dive into that. It's the past energy. I don't want to dwell on it too much, but the thing about the past is that if we go back and we reassess it, I can't talk this morning, that's where our lessons lie. People are like, oh, let's just forget about the past, and I think that we do. We need to move on from it, right? But sometimes it comes up because we're supposed to be reassessing what has happened so that we do not repeat that stuff again, right? So let's see what's going on back here real quick, and then we'll move into the present and the future energy. We always have to go back and look, because that's where our growth comes from. Our experiences is where the growth, without those experiences, without the bumps and the bruises along the way, what do we learn? We learn nothing if we don't pay attention to that, right? On the Two of Cups, the Hangman and the Ace of Cups, you might be seeing your relationships in a very different sense. So if you're involved with somebody, there may have been a period of time out or needing to take a time out from a particular situation. It's learning what love means to you, what it means to give and receive equally, what it is to be emotionally open to an experience, and how to alchemize that, right? Ace of Wands, taking action, inspired action. And the Tower, I'm going to say this to you, the devil. Recognizing the toxic patterns, are we? Okay, guys. So, there's a whole lot of fire energy with that. Scorpio, Capricorn energy to me is how those come in. Capricorn again. So you may be dealing with a Capricorn, or something may have happened around Capricorn season. But it's like, there may be a lot of passionate energy, and I think that there's something around that for you that ignited an internal understanding, and it could even be toxic patterns too, that there's an understanding, again, that King of Swords, I keep going back to him though in a way, of what had to change, what had to shift, what had to transmute itself somehow in Scorpio. Again, you're willing to do that and sit with the ugly parts of it for as long as you need to and somehow find comfort in that, right? It's weird, but it's a thing. But with this, though, it's like, I feel like that tower moment isn't so much a bad thing as it is you're willing to release anything around you that was not serving of you. Seven of Cups in the reverse. Yeah, letting go of that confusion. And it may have taken you a while, sitting in this kind of energy to get a complete, again, understanding. That King of Swords, he's mentally clear on how it was that this was not serving you and how to address that. Like I said in the beginning here with these cards, I got the hiccups. I'm so sorry. In real life here, I don't edit, so it is what it is. I'm a human. That you may have been looking at something and going, how can I not hurt another person's feelings? And I think at some point you let that tower in that reverse position fall in the past. Like that may be the initial energy of like, how do I go about this, is the feeling that I'm getting from these initial three cards. And then to see this this Two of Cups clarified is like having that recognition that there were some situations around you, maybe some people around you, that you were integrating life with that just were not coming together, and you had to let them fall. You had to let them go. It's a breakthrough, right? It's a massive change, and maybe for some people in your life that was a hard pill to swallow, and that's okay. Like that's how they take that is up to them. It's about how you're responding to the situation yourself, and are you doing it with integrity? So I don't think that it was a bad tower. It was meant to clear something out that wasn't serving your good. And this is too many cards, Spirit. Let's see. Spirit's also saying, going back to something, the Hierophant. It was about the lessons for you guys. King of Swords in the reverse and the Hierophant. Let's see. Mother of Cups. There was, again, a lot of confusion surrounding how it was you were going to let something go. And it's like, to me, you're moving on to something more spiritual, something more that's opening you up, that's having these realizations that if it brings pain with third-party bullshit, you'll wait. That Two of Wands, you're going to wait for something that comes in that is correct. It's a come in correct or don't come in at all. And it's really how that feels, is like, I'm going to protect myself. That Mother of Cups, like, she's supposed to be the nurturer, or the Queen of Cups. But on this deck with Kim Kranz's Wild Unknown, it's the Mother of Cups. And you can see she protects her cup. She protects every emotional investment that she's ever made. And when you realize that these investments that you were making emotionally were not serving of your higher good, that they weren't making you feel good, that you felt like you had to protect and kind of analyze situations around you, and then that they weren't coming in clear, it was time to let those go. And that's where I feel like this Nine of Swords, you're not, maybe not being in a space of being sure how to do that. And it was causing you a lot of anxiety, these situations, like overthinking. Six of Swords, seen that on the bottom earlier, right? Letting that go. You're releasing that. Anything that was heavy and worrisome to you. Two of Swords in reverse, getting clear. If it's causing me any type of anxiety, if it's causing me sleepless nights, if it's causing me nightmares or whatever it is, or just anxious feelings, you were willing to let that go and move forward from that. You were getting slowly getting clear about why you were feeling the way you were feeling and beginning to understand your emotions. The Ten of Swords in reverse, to me, again, back and forth. Excuse me. And then you've got the World card. So a lot of back and forth kind of energy, Scorpio, and I'm not surprised. As a Scorpio myself, I tend to do that too, so I can understand and relate to that completely. But again, once you made a clear decision that this was how you were feeling and where these feelings were coming up from, 1919 breaks down to tens and 2 1s. Very interesting, right? As I looked up there on the clock. But once you got clear what you're not going to do, it was a no-brainer for you. So if you're either in this, going through this, like you're closing this out. Again, wherever these fragments were coming in the past, you're not going to do that anymore. You're moving forward. Your sights are set on future. not on the past anymore. And that's wonderful energy to move out of that. And I will say, and Spirit is reiterating to me, like, the fact that we brought up so much of the past. Typically, I wouldn't sit back here on this for so long. But that past is the lessons that you've learned, and you're taking that with you. And to have those lessons and be aware of that is a beautiful energy to sit in, take with you, and move through. Because what that tells me is you're learning. You're actually gaining knowledge of how you got to this place. And I feel like maybe even the universe was testing you a little bit. Like, did you learn the lessons of the past from before as well? And I think maybe you've got Taurus placements or dealing with a Taurus, because I think that came up in Taurus, like they were kind of reminiscing over the past. Scorpio, same thing, and I'm not surprised again, because you guys are complete opposite ends of the spectrum. You equate balance, they balance each other out. So if it felt deceptive, it felt like it was going to hurt you if you had to sleep with one eye open, kind of feeling that Seven of Swords at the bottom. Again, you're not going to repeat those situations. It's time to move on. And I will say to you, carry that knowledge with you in everything that you do moving forward, because you've learned a lot about yourself as a result. Eight of Pentacles, future energy, or present energy for you guys. What is this about for Scorpio? The Devil. Make sure that you're not obsessing too much over your work. That you're not burning the candle at both ends. You've got the Devil, the Ten of Cups, Page of Pentacles, and the Temperance. Needing to find that emotional balance in everything that you do. You can obsess over, the things around you that you want to feel good in, Seven of Pentacles. Because I feel like for every time that you spend time not taking care of yourself as you're putting in the hard work and the effort, you're tending to knock yourself back just a bit somehow. So it's like, understand that to get to this Ten of Cups, it's slow and steady wins the race. Finding the balance between home and work, finding the balance between having fun and work. You're going to have to find a steady flow. So you're not, working 24/7 and then crashing and burning hard. So it's going to be, again, finding that balance. You have all of these things, and you may have a lot of things on your plate at this time. Give me one. Okay, Scorpio, I'm so sorry. When your kiddo calls, you answer the phone. You stop everything you're doing and you answer the phone. I'm so sorry about the disruption. Anyhow, now that that's taken care of, so moral of the story here with this present energy is you're going to have to find a balance, right? So if you are working too much and not enjoying yourself, it's like, take the time to enjoy the fruits of your labor. Give yourself the time to rest and recuperate. This is going to come in due time. And even if nothing to you feels like it's happening, you're pushing yourself super hard right now, just let things flow. It's always like the statement that I use, just let things flow. Hiccups again, good grief this morning. What is going on? You may be multitasking a lot too, things happen for a reason. You may be multitasking in life a lot right now. But make sure that you're giving your attention to the things that you're working on, doing things, one thing at a time, addressing it, going. It's almost like, I kind of feel with these Eight of Pentacles that are on the board here, like you've really worked on a lot of various things. And I'm going to show you this card from the Light Seers deck if you've not seen the Eight of Pentacles. And this is the vibe that I'm getting from this card. You see like the moon phases or the pentacle phase, whatever you want to call this on this card. But you can see it's like completed, almost done, getting there, 3/4 of the way there, started it, thinking about it, right? So you might have your hands in a lot of various things right now, but take the time, because it's also not just about getting things accomplished, but it's also about the quality of the work that you're putting in. So make sure that you're, as you're getting things done, take it one thing at a time, work on it, give it the attention that it needs, and once you finish that project, then move on to the next thing. Don't burn yourself out. But again, any progress, anything that you're doing is progress, right? If you're 2 steps ahead of where you were yesterday, you've made progress. Right now might not be the time for you to push so much as it is to be present and enjoy the experience that you're having at this time, and finding the balance in that of what makes you feel good, what lights you up. It's harmony. Finding harmony between work and life, finding harmony in all of the things that you were doing, so you're not wearing yourself out. So I feel like you're obsessing over, with this Ten of Cups, the Knight of Pentacles, I can't even talk, and then the Temperance card. It's just finding a way to balance that out so that you're not obsessing over these things, knowing that it's coming in divine timing. Divine timing is always at play for us. So as long as we're putting in the effort and the work in balance, it's going to come to you in due time. So don't push too hard, right? Make sure you're taking care of yourself, and Spirit is drinking enough water right now too. We're in, the way I'm seeing this and the way Spirit's bringing this in is we're in Aries season. That's a fire sign, right? Water. Scorpios live in the depths of their emotions, and that is fluid energy. That is water energy. Make sure that you're nurturing your body, taking care of yourself, because not only does all the things around you need to see growth in due time, so do you. So make sure that you're taking care of you as you move through these things, okay? That's going to be very, very important. That way you're not taking steps back into the 7 of Pentacles. Yes, you're headed for your 10, but when you're burning yourself out, you're cutting yourself back down. So it's like 2 steps forward, 1 step back, 2 steps forward, 1 step back. The one thing I tell the girls that I work with, I'm like, let's work smarter and not harder. And there's that King of Swords. Let's work smarter. Let's not overwork ourselves where we don't need to overwork ourselves. So just be cognizant that you're not whipping your own ass in the process and then, falling behind in other things. So this King of Swords in the future energy, Scorpio, let's see. I like that King of Swords for you guys. I really do. Spirit is, this phone this morning, cheese and crackers. Spirit is telling me before I even flip this card over, you may be working with somebody too that comes in very smart, very analytical, very clear about something. This person may be a little bit older than you as well. I feel like they are also seasoned. I do feel like this King of Swords is you, but I also feel like it's representing somebody else around you. And with that, we have the Lover's card. So this could be, and Four of Wands. Somebody around you could just be finally stepping into their own space of power, their own awareness of who they are and what it is that they desire out of life. And I feel like that's also giving you a grounded energy too, that you don't feel like you're playing with low-lying pages and knights and that kind of immature sorts of energy with that too as well. So let's see. 7 of Pentacles. I'm hearing the words rebuild from Spirit with that 7 of Pentacles. Like you're rebuilding a foundation. So maybe you've had somebody return from the past. Maybe, something has come back around, whether it's work or love or whatever it is for you, that's starting to show itself and showing some growth. There's seeds that are being planted. You're making some movement in an upward direction as opposed to sitting down in this lower lying space. And quite frankly, when I had mentioned this to you, like it feels awful. So again, looking back at the past is like, if it was surface level bullshit, you're not going to sit in that anymore. It's like, if I'm not seeing growth, if the seeds I'm not planting are not showing itself to make sense to me, then I'm not going to continue to invest my energy in that. And I feel like whatever this is for you, going from that 6 to that 7, you are seeing forward momentum. It might be slow moving, but it's coming. It's again, slow and steady wins the race. That Son of Pentacles to me is always very like, I'm coming, just give me 5 more minutes. So let that move you forward, knowing that there is progress, I think, in all areas of your life. But it's moving at its own steady pace. You can't push it. If you push it, you're going to create tower moments. Just let it flow, right? All right, it's for Scorpio, please, Spirit. Scorpio, your reading is always so much different than everybody else's, and I love that for you. All these cards are coming out. Moving away from some conflictual energy. If you've had conflict with a particular person in the past, I do feel like that's resolving itself. You're not investing in that anymore. Queen of Wands in the reverse. This may feel a little heavy to you. It's like, again, I feel like there's just this massive need for patience. So don't get bitchy. Don't get aggressive. Don't get too protective of your space. Like, you're starting to open yourself up to possibility. That's 6 of Wands. And I feel like whatever energy maybe, again, from the past was sitting there, you're starting to let that go. Somebody else may be reassessing as well at this time. And there's reas, I just, over and over again, I can't help it. It just comes through that way. It's like spiritual vomit. It just comes out of my mouth. But it's like they may have also seen this too, and it's like multiple people I feel like are ready to make some type of investment into something to see where it goes. So this, again, could be work, it could be love, it could be various things. Let that happen, let that occur, because you're going to start to see Spirit is saying more and more growth. It gives me the chills. I love that for you guys. But you're releasing. Look. 3 of Swords, the 9 of Wands, and then you've got that 6 of Wands. Again, moving past all of that and knowing that you've successfully completed a part of your cycle. And I think I talked about that before in one of your videos, that you were completing cycles as well. And you really have. You're really moving forward in grace, and recognizing the work that you've put in the past, even when you did feel like it was like, damned if I do, damned if I don't. If it kills me, I'm going to get this done. But it did pay off. But again, there's still that need to find balance moving forward. And then let's check out the 6 of Wands, and then we'll get you guys some advice. I like this reading. It's good stuff. Good stuff. Stay out of the idea of being your own worst enemy too. You know, Ace of Swords, gaining clarity, waiting for the roads and horizons to open up to you, and they will. They absolutely will. That 2 of Wands is, you know, following that path to me in this deck sometimes is how it's coming across today. The cards will always show themselves in different ways. Page of Wands, again, new growth, new opportunity, offers coming in. Again, the things that we're not going to serve, if you're not seeing those come to fruition, know that it would have left you in lack. It would have left you in a space, and again, it's walking away. I just feel like there's all this forward, like I get this need, like this feel of a pull to all of the present and the future moving energies. Like, it's almost like there's a blockage back here. It says, I'm done with this. It's very much, I'm done with the past kind of pull that I'm getting. A spark of creativity and new ideas also coming in at this time as well. So again, in 2 of Cups, I feel like you have been re-inspired in justice. Nothing that's not fair and balanced is gonna work for you anymore. A lot of 2s coming up for you guys as well. I will say I see 222 all the time, right? Very important, because it's about unification. You break that down, it turns into a 6. But just seeing it as a sense of the duality of situations, recognizing how to be in a feminine energy as well as how to boss up when you need to boss up and step into your power. I feel like you're playing with that energy pretty well. Try not to lose your patience, and I think that's important too. It's seeing something from another person's perspective as well. You're getting clearer about that as it comes through sometimes. But it's, again, tempering those emotional highs and lows, Scorpio, because, you know, we go up and down in our emotions. It's how we flow. Sometimes to our advantage, sometimes so much not, right? But in the same breath, there's new growth that's being had. You're, again, seeing things coming to fruition in due time. Alchemizing how it all flows together, how it all works together. But it is balanced and it is fair. High Priestess, and you know this. You know, I see the High Priestess, I just go, you know, and I sound redundant in that. But you're taking, you know, if you start off on these new paths, this new way of doing for yourself through this change of revolution, it's going to pay off. And you're aware of where you are. 1111 just popped up too. Numbers are all over the place for me today. You know where you're heading, and as long as you stay in that balanced energy, and in taking what is fair, it's got to be an equal. It's got to be an equal. Justice is playing out for you. Karma is playing out. So if you've put in hard work and effort, and you've stood in integrity and grace, and you've moved through life, it's showing itself. It's getting ready to show you so much more, I think, than you even are aware of. You may feel it, but you don't see it, kind of vibe is how this feels to me, because it's just like, well, it could be this way. Even with this Justice card, it could be this way or that way. You know, Scorpio tend to dive into the darker parts of things, but it's almost like with that white, I'm very drawn to it. It's purity, right? It is the lighter side of life. It is to release yourself and just open up to something that feels good, rather than sitting in the darkness of the past. So, and I think you're willing to bulldoze over anything that feels heavy and toxic to you. So I like it, Scorpio. I do. You're leaving the pain of the past behind. That's a mouthful. Say that 10 times over. All right, guys, let's get you some advice. We're going to wrap this up. And then, again, check your other placements if you haven't done so. And then if you have Cancer or Pisces in your chart, Hopefully those will be up, if not today, then tomorrow for you guys. All right, I'm trying to stay as consistent as possible, but I do run my own business, and I'm a single mom, and I do all these other things, and I'm human like everybody else. So bear with me, folks, please. I appreciate each and every single one of you for hanging around when I take a moment. Wish upon a star, Scorpio. You're going to see your wishes and your fulfillments come into play here. You've held faith. You know, this little girl, she is just at peace in the moment, right? She's trusting and having faith in where it is that she's heading. Doesn't know, but she knows that she's okay. She's supported in that moment. That 12 or that 39 breaks down to a 12, which breaks down to a 3. You have a lot of support surrounding you, and a lot of times when I see cards like this, that 3 also reminds me of spirit. It could be your guides, your ancestors, you know, your angels, whatever you want to call it, however you describe it for yourself. But you are being supported in all that you're doing right now. Just be with it. Feel it, embrace it, love it, nurture it, and keep your eyes set on what the future holds. Not with anxiety, not with worry, right? Just trusting the process. You're being guided. The whole ride, you are being guided there. All right, advice for Scorpio for the month of April, please. It is what it is. Again, if it wasn't serving of you in the past, you're letting things become what they need to be. It's not holding on to an idea or an expectation. It's like if that door closes, there's a reason for that, and it's finding the acceptance in it for what it is. It was whether it was a soul tie, a karmic tie, it was whatever it was supposed to be. It's finding acceptance and resolve that some doors are just, when you close a chapter out, they need to stay closed. And you may sit back and kind of wonder. I kind of get this feeling of like, well, what could have been? Don't let yourself go into what could have been. Go, this is exactly what it is. This is why it is what it needs to be, and I'm okay and accepting of that for whatever it is. I don't need to know. I just need to know that it didn't work, you know. And then let's see here, guys. The Rose's Kiss. Don't be abrasive, you know. And side note, I talked about the duality, that 6 and that 9. It's like yin yang energy, right? The masculine, the feminine energies. I also feel like this is not overthinking, needing these 2 cards together, not overthinking. You know, it's like, don't be abrasive. You know, we all have quirks about us that would drive some people absolutely insane. It's being, again, that acceptance. Things are what they are for a reason. I do think that whatever the situation is, and it may, I'm going to say may entail somebody else, and what, I got to pick up the cards, great big love. It is, and it's beyond the ordinary on the bottom there, another 9. Very much independent. You could be dealing with somebody who's extremely independent of you. You yourself are very independent and capable of doing things on your own. What's beautiful, and I'm going to say this, and it's something that's come up in the past week as I've done personal readings and things like that. When we work on the self, and if we're in union with somebody else, the best thing that you can do for them is to work on you. The best thing they can do is to work on them. And then how it interlocks together is going to be a beautiful energy, because you're both working on the self, and it's not a codependent type of energy. So being aware of that and recognizing that there's going to be things about you that maybe another person is not going to be like, you know, I have a god-awful habit of leaving the coffee cup on the sink with coffee in it when I leave to go to work. For some people, that would make them absolutely insane. It's like, just rinse your cup out. It's just me. I leave it sitting and I deal with it when I get home. But so, you know, you may have quirks. And if you have those quirks, okay. Is it the end of the world is kind of what I want to say to that. The beauty that lies within you is a beautiful thing to be had and to behold of. So even if you have these little things, we all have these little things about us. And I want to say, don't be critical of yourself either. Accept yourself for the beauty that you are, the beauty that lies within. Because the more appreciative you are of that, there we go. You know, you're building your confidence whether you recognize it or not. And if you're seeing the beauty in other things outside of you too, and you're appreciating them, dear God, for what they are, right? You're opening up to that. You're calling that in. That's the vibration that you're sitting in. You're aware of everything has a light and a dark side. Open yourself up to feel that and be appreciative of the beauty that you see, because it's going to call in more of that to you. Okay, Scorpio, I love this reading. This is fantastic. Like, no more, like, I just see you guys opening up and leveling up. Spirit's telling me to get one card on this productivity, so let's go ahead and do that. What is this productivity, Spirit? What is this productivity for Scorpio, please? Spirit, I just tell you, appreciate, right? Appreciate everything that you're doing. Appreciate all of the good and the bad, right? What comes out? The spirit of gratitude. If that doesn't just wrap this reading up for you guys. Let go of the defenses. Open yourself up to the seeds that you have planted. The Oracle's gift on the bottom. You are being gifted so much more than you know, and the more you sit in this gratitude, with the, you know, be appreciative of everything that you've worked for, every space that you've gotten to. Be thankful for the hurdles. Be thankful for the bumps. Be thankful for the experiences, because I'm telling you, what's coming through this is so fulfilling. Like, it is, the cup is full. It's not even half empty or, you know, half full. It is full. It is coming in with just so much love and appreciation for everything that you do, and it's sitting in that for yourself, to truly embracing that, because through that, as you're working through these things where you might feel like nothing is happening right now, back here where we saw that 7 of Pentacles and that 8 of Pentacles, it's coming. Just be patient, be loving, be understanding, be appreciative of where you are and how you're going to get there, you know, and just accept it as it comes in. That acceptance and the appreciation for the journey that you're on right now, because it's really, really lovely. Very lovely. All right, Scorpio, I think this is probably the longest video I've done for the series of the April series here. I'll get Cancer and Pisces out, so if that's in your chart, bear with me. I will get that out to you all very, very soon. Check your sun, your moon, your rising, and your Venus. Guys, thank you so very much again. Thank you for all the likes, shares, subscribes, comments. I appreciate each and every one of you. To all of you, signs, mwah, you're fantastic. Again, personal readings, that information is found in the description box below, as well as the about section of the page. And again, I apologize for the little hiccup in the middle, as my kiddo called, but you know, we've got to be parents first and everything else comes second. So, all right, guys, I'm wishing you a fantastic April. Take care of yourselves. I'm sending you love and light. See you soon. Bye.